player standpoint, like how much you think is talent and how much you think is coaching that gets a player to be getting a college scholarship, being able to go to college, and even professional? Like how much is coaching, how much is actually raw talent?
Good question. You know what? I mean, just to be real, coaching is probably like 20%, if that. You know what I mean? Coaches are the gatekeeper to get kids to college. You know what I mean? They're the guide, to get to college. My job is always to make sure that mom and dad is not paying for college, if that's where they trying to go basketball wise. Everything else is up to the kid, but up to the player. But my job is always to make sure mom and dad either has to pay minimum or less than or none for college. So I'm always in the mindset of, just making sure I do my job to be available and to be a vessel for the players. I don't think, because at the end of the day, like if you're playing AAU, that's mostly, like how you get scouted now, because the environment's just changed. High school is just more so to build upon your resume to see how you can play at a kind of an organized level. Because I don't care what any kid say, you got to play high school basketball. There, that is not going away. You have to, because of the ability. It just changes. It's different. It's different at AAU. AAU just going up and down, up and up, up and down. Organized basketball is just so different. So I would say 20% is coaching. Maybe a little. Some coaches may be mad that coaches is more of that, but I think coaching is just more so the guidance and a vessel to be able to help or extend the help for said player.
So what about the leagues that's out now that's like picking the high school students and they're like in a league for a year or 2 years before they go pro, either NBA or go overseas if they don't make it? Like, what do you think about those? You think those are beneficial, or do you think those actually hurt the development of a kid?
So my belief is that it's only beneficial if you need the money fast. Because they get paid as soon as they go over to the G League, and which is fine, and I applaud, because some kids need it. Like some kids just need that. However, I mean, you talk about Jaden, who just went to the Mavs. He was supposed to be a top pick, but he didn't. He didn't even go in the first round, and he went to the G League. So it's the number, like Jalen Green. He was supposed to be. I think if he went to college, he would have been a top. He plays for Houston now, Houston Rockets. I think he probably would have been a top 2. I mean, he still went top 5 in the draft, but I don't know if it helps, because I haven't seen anything that it helped for a player who's trying to be high ranked. I just think the college just gives you a higher platform. It gives you a more of an environment that you may be in, because in the G League you don't have many fans that's there. You don't have that that aura of just fandom, which I think that is also, when the lights are bright, it's a different ball game. I don't care what anybody say. When the lights are bright, it's a totally different ball game. I always say you got those practice players and you got those game players. So I just think the G League, it's good for those who need it monetarily, and who wants to put themselves in position. But I definitely would go with college, because it's just more of it's different. It's different. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just different.
Yeah. So let me piggyback off that, because you're in a unique position, because you play college and now you coach, and it's a whole new era of NIL. So, like, what are your thoughts about NIL?
Yeah,
it's helpful, but like, how helpful is it? Is it hurtful? Can it be manipulative? Like, what do you think about NIL right now?
I mean, I kind of the same way. Like NIL, I do believe it is helpful, because I believe college players should be paid. Like, if you're going to earn a buck off their name, you definitely need to pay them dollars. How that looks, put a cap on it, put a stipend on it. I really don't up the stipend. I'm not really sure how that looks, but I definitely think that the NIL is good for the players in its totality. However, everybody's not getting the NIL.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So that like you're not really solving the issue. You're kind of, sweeping it under the rug a little bit, like just kind of sweeping the dirt a little bit under the rug until you unveil it. But and then also too, they're just they're not really, they're saying that, oh, they got a $1 million deal, but they really got like a $50,000 deal. You know what I mean? It's not really $1 million. So everything is kind of, not really true. And then also how I think it there's two things. I think it's affected in a positive way, but negatively, I think it hurts because now these kids are just looking for an NIL deal and they're not NIL talent. So, you know what I mean? Like everybody's not an NIL player, you know what I mean? And it's kind of hard to tell a player that because, as men, we're so competitive and confident.
You gotta tell them they don't get an NIL deal. It's like, I guess you ain't that. So what I was gonna say was, like take Jackson State, prime example. You got Dion down there. You got his two sons. Shador got probably every NIL deal there is. So now you got maybe one of the wideouts he throw the ball to, or the running back that's doing all this muscle, and they like, man, like you got your dad, you got all this NIL money. Like, bro, show me some love, break some bread, help me get an NIL deal. So it's like, so now is it tension in the locker rooms because it's like the dudes that got NIL deals, they going on visits and they taking pictures and got all these photo ops to do, and then the other guys in the locker room like, so like we ain't important. And so I'm thinking, I heard Grambling coach he gave the whole program an NIL stipend. Like they gave the whole program that. And so I'm thinking like at Shador, I would be like, I get NIL money, I'm breaking my teammates off, like buying them gifts, putting money in their pocket, like to keep the camaraderie in the locker room, because I can only imagine, like even back in the day, they shake hand and giving dude $2,000 and they like, bro, we all went out there and won the game. Like I'm blocking you, you the quarterback. Like, so what you think about that? Because I don't know. I could be wrong. I ain't been in these locker rooms with the NIL people situation, but I can only imagine somebody thinking like that.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, it's just like if put it like this. I think of it as as a coach, I have my top player. I may give him a little bit more leash, a little bit more bone than I would the eighth player on the bench. And the eighth player on the bench may make the same mistake, but I may pull his ass out real quickly. But my starter may make the exact same thing. And I say, okay, well, we'll get him. You'll get it next time. You know what I mean? It's just levels to it. Just like you say, it's just levels to it. And if you don't understand, if the A player don't understand that why I give him this privilege, or why he has this privilege, or I give him a little bone or a little leash, then he's worried about the wrong thing. When I think about, like, that's just like me, envy of you because you're successful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work harder. How can I get where T-Wig's at? What do I need to do? Maybe I need to ask T-Wigs questions of how I need to get to where he is. And I think that's we and that's just not young kids. It's all of us. Like we see it from just like the front lens. Like we don't kind of go under the lens and open it up and, hey, let me ask questions. How can I be like him? It's always like, I got to be better. You know what I mean? I got to have more. So, I just think it's just like envy, and it's going to be envious if the guy's getting more dollars, and I should be getting what he be getting, and it's just we have that mentality. I think we just need to get out of, and more so, hey T-Wigs, you got how do I get where you are? You know what I mean? And I think we build like that. Shoot, everybody have NIL deals.
Yeah. So here we talk about HBCUs. We support HBCUs. If you have a kid who has the opportunity, just like you did, either get a scholarship, everything's equal, right? PWI or HBCU. Why, if you would, but then why would you lead them towards going to HBCU to play basketball and scholastically compared to a PWI?
I mean, I have friends who, and I'm pretty sure we all do have friends that have been to PWI, and with HBCUs, I just think that HBCUs you have to teach yourself things. You know what I mean? You have to figure it out on your own in some ways. Like, I mean, you're not going to HBCU and just deer in the headlights or anything like that. Nobody's going to guide you. And I know it's way different than when we went through school. So it's a little bit more helpful and more guidance and more money. But I will say it's just HBCUs just teach you more of life teachings. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's more of, not only that, the parties are more better. I don't care what anybody say. You know, and also I feel that when you go to like a University of Maryland or University of Missouri, and because I've been to these campuses, it's like it's so spread out. You don't know everybody. You can't reach out to everybody. You can't connect with everybody. And not all schools you're going to do that. But at HBCUs, it's family. Any HBCU you go to, it's like family, right? So I think having that ability to be able to teach yourself and to be able to make a community or build a community within the school campus and impact not only the community on campus, but also outside of campus. Because a lot of HBCUs are in some inner city places that a kid, you know, needs you to talk to them. You know what I mean? Whereas, you know, PWI schools, they're in nice places where you don't really need to do that. You know what I mean? And I just think that I know that it being a product of it, HBCUs teaches you more of life teachings to help better yourself as a character after you graduate.